And I know that Meredith is on the call, and I'm just going to turn it over to her. Our custom is that our guests pretty much introduce themselves because they can do better than I can anyway. Over to you, Meredith.
Thank you so much, Jim. And thank y'all all for having me tonight. I am so excited about being here and joining all of you. I'm going to go ahead. I too like to start with a slideshow and kind of keep me on task. Y'all will see I'm a talker and I'm a fast talker. So if I go too fast, I'll be sure to stay on and answer any questions afterwards. But I do need to just start this whole thing by saying thank you. Like Jim said, it has just been so exciting to see all the support that y'all have already given. So we are well on our way with really starting this groundwork for the Building Blue year-round organizing program and our brand new Purge program. And we could not have done it without your support. So I just want to thank y'all and thank y'all for some of the kind words that I've also received from y'all through your emails. I'd love to hear from y'all, and all of your feedback too is always really welcome. And so, I'm just going to kind of reiterate a little bit about what Jim said about why North Carolina. North Carolina is really important, not just in 2022, but as we're looking, forward to 2024. We have, really analyzed and looked at like what the results were in 2020 and what we need to do differently, what went well, what we can build upon, but also what we need to grow. And I think, a lot of our findings weren't different than, many of the other states across the nation. Where we strive, where we really grow and glow is when we are doing direct voter contact. And, we wouldn't change what we did because of COVID, but it did really hurt us in, in our momentum. And so one of the things that we really dug into, talked with Martha Lanning with over at SPAN Network, also former chair for Wisconsin, and several other states about how they were, creating their year-round programs and what worked for them. And so in 2021, we started, our year-round organizing program called Building Blue, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. We started flipping local seats. We did our first year municipal GOTV statewide program that we have ever done. And now we're looking to 2022. And 2022 is really important here in North Carolina. Our maps are challenging. We can't ignore that. We are gerrymandered, and we won a really important fight in the Supreme Court, state Supreme Court recently, but we've got a ways to go. And so not only do we want to flip this U.S. Senate seat, but we have to retain our courts. We have 2 Supreme Court seats up and 4 Court of Appeal seats up in 2022, and we have to protect the governor's veto. All of this is so important as we're looking to 2024, because if we want to turn blue in 2024, we need to make sure that we have the courts that we need to protect us, and we need to have the General Assembly there to help protect the governor's veto. So if we're looking through, we're going past 2022, we want to look towards 2024. And all of these things we're doing right now are building a foundation. In 2015, the North Carolina Democratic Party really started doing just kind of a rebrand and a rebuild. And we're finally at the point right now where we can really not only just create a strong foundation, but grow it. And so that's going to be through our voter protection program, and it's going to be through our year-round organizing program. So why is it critical to do it right now? Again, like all of these things are building blocks, and, and building relationships takes time, and creating a strong voter protection program takes time. And so we, looked at, again, the 2020 results and thought, how can we make North Carolina stronger? And how can we make this party more efficient and more effective for our candidates and the people on the ground? And these 2 programs were really born from this. But again, it doesn't happen overnight. As y'all know, relationships take time, and they take a lot of trust. And so in order for us to build this trust and really get a strong neighbor to neighbor program up and running, we have to do that now, and we have to continue it. It can't end the day the election ends in 2022. This program's got to keep going as we move into 2023. And that's the kind of brilliance from this program. Is it's simple, is none of it's rocket science, but it takes time and it takes commitment. So one of the first things that Jim mentioned to y'all was our voter protection Purge program, and this is brand new. We were really excited in 2020 because we were able to get our voter protection program launched earlier. And when we launched earlier, we saw that there were things that we could kind of work out as we were moving in to the 2022 general election. And because of that program and that strong team that we had, we were also able to do a tremendous amount of ballot cure. And also, one of the reasons why Sherry Beasley got within 401 votes is because we were able to help with the recount. But there are things that we can put in place that can, maybe put us in a better position, because as we saw with those 401 votes, it's one of the hardest, losses that I have been around and kind of went through. It's because we were so close. But this Purge program can help us maybe save some of those votes. So we're starting, and I'm gonna say starting because, the voter purge is continuously happening. Right now, we're currently targeting 16,645 Democratic voters who were recently purged from our polls. And so we are reaching out to these purge voters first by mail to let them know that they have been purged. We are also following up with text, phone calls, and then in-person contact. And as you can see from this little table that we have at the side, Democratic voters are actually being purged at a much higher rate in North Carolina. So we're going to continue to monitor that. It grows every single month. We have this wonderful program that we are partnering with the DNC with so that we will continuously know which voters are being purged, and we can continue to reach out to them. But because of all of your support, we have already fully funded this program, and this is all to you guys. So again, thank you so much. We are really rocking and rolling on this program already. We have our next multi-department meeting next week to actually walk through the next steps past the mailing. So thank y'all so much. We'll keep you posted. We're hoping that some of y'all will volunteer with us as we continue to reach out with these people. But I also wanted just to give you just a kind of a quick view of what the tiers are, because again, this is going to be a very large project. And this is going to, again, continue from now. This is a year-round project. We will continue to reach out to our purged voters as we move through. But you can see kind of the tiered system of if this numbers get too large, kind of where we will attack first as a staff. We are also setting up trainings now because this has been funded. We are actually setting up additional training so that we can actually educate all of the county party structure as well to help us with the outreach so that we can stay on top of this. But so the program basically was about $66,000. And again, because of all of y'all's donations, and we've, I think, already hit over 100,000 as of tonight, we have fully funded this program. So thank y'all so much. We'll keep you in the loop as how this, as we get more folks re-registered, we'll keep you in the loop and let you know how this is going. But this was, again, one key step. We think that, again, every vote matters. And this is how we can not only make sure that we are not disenfranchising voters for not knowing that they were purged, but also can just make sure that we're getting, folks to know what is going on. And then I'm going to move over to the year-round organizing infrastructure. So again, with y'all's, since with y'all's help has been so kind of empowering to us, we have, upped our goal a little bit overall. We originally went in saying we wanted 10 rides for the state of North Carolina, but because y'all have been so generous, we are now actually with a new goal of 14 rides, because between you guys and some of the, matching grants from SPAN, we think we can do it. So right now we currently have 9 regional organizing directors on staff. We had 3 onboarded officially today. So we were really excited about that. And then with y'all, we are going to be able to, we're actually already interviewing. We had a couple of interviews today for 2 new rides. So we are really excited about moving forward with this program. Again, what this program is really looking at is taking, at the party, I'll say we typically had a very vertical approach to organizing. We looked at precincts, we looked at county chairs, we kind of had it was a structure within the party system when we were talking about how we were going to organize at the local level. This has really turned it on its head. And we are now organizing with a horizontal approach. So we're going into communities and into your neighborhood. And we're hopefully what the first kind of meeting is not going to be about being Democrats. It's going to be a listening, tour where we go in and we listen to folks about what the community needs. Start to rebuild the trust. And then as the trust build these teams. We're asking for each, what we're calling our grassroots captain, to first bring in 5 people and hope that each team grows to 25 people. Our goal is that by the end of the year that we have reached all 2,600 precincts in North Carolina. to kind of give us just a, kind of goal. But we also want to do not just have these meetings, but have events driven by these neighborhood action teams. So community events, getting people, surrounding by, different events, whether it be, a Boys and Girls Club event, a backpack event, what kind of things are important to the community at the moment to try to start getting them involved in these different events. And then as this is growing, we have also just gone ahead as the teams are being created, that we give them different ideas of a monthly action item so that they don't also always have to come up with the events at the local level. So like, for instance, in January, it was a service project, in honor of Martin Luther King. We are also really concentrating on one-on-ones in the community so we can get to learn and know who the local leaders are and build relationships with them. And then we also have our Building Blue training program, where we offer 2 days a week different trainings for our grassroots organizers, our county chairs, our candidates. So it's a 3 kind of pronged approach to training, and that started actually in 2021, in March of 2021. And then again, we're also doing direct voter contact attempts. And so these regional organizers, if they're doing their job well, they will basically be organizing themselves out of a job. So like, what we want them to do is not just get volunteers, but empower local activists and volunteers to be the organizers in their own communities. And so this will help us just build a continuous, organizing effort year round, and not just each, election time. This won't be just about GOTV. This is going to be much bigger. It's going to be building a relationship with the Democratic Party and the community. So how has this been working so far? So again, we kicked this off in 2021, brand new program, and we were really excited about all the things that we were able to accomplish in 2021. Again, first statewide municipal GOTV campaign. We flipped some very important seats from red to blue. We were really excited about. We had some big mayoral races. Again, 593 one-on-ones with community leaders. Again, this is something that just typically doesn't happen at the state party level in terms of organizing. So, as the typical model, most of all these things that we're talking about now happen during the coordinated, and the coordinated doesn't start until the election year, and sometimes into the summer of the election year. And so that's why this program is so important, so that we're not waiting, and that we're building these relationships and building this foundation as we move towards GOTV. We had over 12,000 volunteer shifts completed, 3,200 training shifts completed. That's 3,200 unique individuals sought training. Over 73,000 doors were knocked, nearly 100,000 calls were made, 56,000 texts sent, and we've already done a pretty substantial texting program starting in January already to talk about the good works that Democrats are doing, and then also to continue to encourage people to get vaccinated, and where they can learn where the testing sites are, where the vaccination sites are. Some of the other events that we've done have been weekends of action, where we've been talking about like what the American Rescue Plan is, what the municipal election opportunities are. And then again, hired 6 rods in 2021 and 3 already this year. So we are, again, just super, super excited about everything that we have on the horizon with this program, but it's going to take a lot of work. And we've just kind of begun. So the overall program for the 2022 cycle was nearly $1 million, and 90,000 is kind of the actual cost for each rod that we will have. And so that includes all their salaries and benefits, the travel, phone, that kind of thing that they'll need to actually do the work on the day-to-day. So I've talked a lot, and I've talked really fast because y'all know I'm excited and I'm just so grateful for y'all to even sit and listen through all of this. But we do have a lot of work here in North Carolina. And, we heard earlier, our democracy is, in peril at this point. And it is really important that we put the foundation in place so that we can fight this every step of the way. Our courts are under attack. We have to protect that veto within the General Assembly. And we have a shot at flipping a U.S. Senate and electing the first Black female U.S. Senator from North Carolina. And I can't tell you how exciting that is, but we can't do it without y'all. So I really do thank you for listening to this whole, thing that all the programs that I've been telling you about, like your support is helping us build a real foundation and build off all the other things that we're trying to work on. And again, we just couldn't do it without you. And that, and I know several of you have already even said you would volunteer to write postcards and make phone calls. And again, that means just as much to us. So thank you so much for all of the support that you've been offering